Hi guys, it's me and welcome back to my channel. This video is a continuation of the previous one, which essentially was about offerings, what they are, and other bunch of stuff that I highly suggest that you watch, prior to watching this one, although you do not need to watch the other one to understand this one. But if you watch them both, the better. More education your way. The difference between that video and this one is that in this particular video, I'm going to be talking about the types of offerings that you may give, how to give those offerings, and how often you should give them. Of course, I'm also going to be talking about what to do after you have given the offerings, what to do with the old offerings, the leftovers, if you will. Now, I stated in the previous video that there are many types of offerings that you may give, and of course amongst the many I'm gonna be talking about a few. So to begin, you may choose to give incense, any form of incense. I had more but I threw them away. The smell was just too blah. But yeah, these are only currently the ones that I have. When you're reading books, usually the offerings that are of incense are called, when you read God incense, goddess incense, usually those are the incenses that you offer to the gods. Those are the ones that you create and you offer them. Now, incense, when I say incense, I don't necessarily mean the incense sticks. The incense that you can also use are the loose ones. So by all means, if you do not want if you do not want to give these ones and you want to create your own, which the better, then you can choose to do so. But of course, these are also a good alternative. Now, incenses are really good because not only are they quick and easy, but they're also usually very pleasant smelling. So yeah, another form of an offering are candles. So the candle doesn't really need to be big. It can be small, but if it is a big candle, that could be your more long-term offering. And then what you can do is, maybe if you choose to do so, is essentially give smaller offerings daily, right? So the offering candle is just one that you light every day that you want to make that offering, or you can just leave it there lit and then let it burn completely. Now, usually when you give candles as an offering, people would cleanse and then purify them. Now, cleansing being it the physical cleaning of the candle, ridding it of all of the dust and I guess debris, and then purifying being the spiritual cleansing, so the negative energy, all of that. The offering that is of a candle, you can make it, or choose it, should I say, to be the color that is associated to that deity or spirit. So for example, gods of love, pink, red. Gods that have to do with, I don't know, nature, green, brown, maybe even yellow. Let's say healing, it could be blue, green, gold, white. Although white, can be used as to pretty much interchange every other color. So white if you don't have any other. Some people choose to consecrate the candle or pretty much anything that is going to be offered prior to being put on the altar, though others think that that's not really necessary, so you can pretty much do with that what you will. Now, consecrating essentially means the act of blessing and something for it to be sacred. I am going to make a video dedicated to consecrating later on. Maybe I think the video after this one, I'm not sure, but that's going to come eventually. So yeah, another form of an offering that you may choose to give are flowers. So placing flowers on the altar, whether inside or outside, is a really good idea to not only add beauty to your altar, but also to give it life, to bring life into your sacred space. Something that you may choose to also give are liquids: water, milk, wine, natural juice, pretty much anything. I recommend the more natural the better. But if you don't have anything else, water is a good alternative. Water is really sacred to life. It's important. We need it to survive. So you can choose to give water. Also, because water are associated with emotion, most specifically with love, it can also be used in order to express that. Usually when people give water, so usually when people give water, they usually fill it up to the top. Now, of course, this water has been there for a while, so it's going down as time passes. Usually I do not refill the water until it's like halfway, or until I feel that the glass is dirty. So yeah, some people say that you shouldn't let it go down. So, you know, some people even change the water every day. Honestly, it really depends on you and what you think you should do, right? Now, something that you may also choose to give as an offering are foods. Any form of food. So you may choose to give fruits and vegetables. You may choose to give honey, grains. You may choose to give baked goods, that being, you know, cupcakes, bread, a biscuit. I know I said bread, I was gonna say it. Anything that you make, cookies, I guess. You know, anything that you have baked with love and with the thought of them, you know. It doesn't have to be the entire bread, although you can offer the entire bread. You don't really need it to if you don't think that you should, right? But I think I'm gonna touch on it a little bit later. Something that you may choose to not give, or at least I don't recommend that you give, is essentially meat. When you're offering meat, this is the way that I see it. You're giving a corpse. So you're literally giving something that's dead. You're offering death. So you don't want to do that, especially to deities of life, like I did. So my story behind me giving a corpse is essentially, so my offering, at least right now, is, an orange, right? I gave it like this. You can peel it if you want to. I gave an orange, right? One time I was going to eat taro. So I took some of the taro and put it on the you know, the plates, on the plate that I, you know, put my offerings. ¿Qué pasa? When I did that, nothing happened. Nothing usually happens when I, you know, give offerings. It can be there for like days, and I literally will not have to worry about ants or anything. I've never had to worry. Like, I'm not even like. Now, this one time, I was really hungry. You know, I wanted to make pasta with like chicken. Long story short, I did it. Really good, by the way. Not to toot my own horn, but I'm a really good cook. So what ends up happening is that I offered some pasta and more taro, which I had in my bowl, right? I offered it. I didn't give meat this time. So everything was good. I don't remember if like the plate with like the food, like the new food that I put, like the taro with the pasta, I don't remember if it was like a whole day or like half the day. I don't remember. But I know that when I ate like my seconds, I gave meat, right? Never had a problem with ants or anything like that. Not even 5-10 minutes, not even that amount of time passed. My altar was filled with ants. Like, I'm not, like, it was like, and I literally saw one. I was just like, wait, okay, like, let me just like pick it up and put it somewhere. I did that. Then I'm like, why? Wait, there's like, where? Ande el mismo teatro, ay su santísima. And that's when I saw the entire plate filled with ants, and I'm like, how? Why? So I'm just like, I can't keep this. So I literally threw everything away, minus the orange, because that was fine. And what I ended up doing was being like, what the hell? Why? And I mean, obviously you could be like, bro, like, what the heck do you mean why? Of course you're gonna get ants. It's food not being covered. You're going, but I have never had an issue with ants. Never. Like, this is literally like my first time. So of course it could be either one or the other. You know, like mundane logic tells you when you leave food that's not like covered, you're going to get ants. It's not protected. The other one is that, you know, could have been a clear sign that I should not be giving meat to deities of life. Don't do that. Something that you could also choose to offer is your voice. And no, you're not going to go through what Ariel went through. You're not literally giving your voice. You're offering stuff that comes from your voice. So a prayer, a song, a poem, what else? Chanting, anything. Pretty much all of those are good to express, you know, how you feel by using your voice, of course. You may either create your own song, chant, poem, whatever it may be, or just find one online that you really like and would really like to offer to the deity, right? If it comes from you, I feel that it is better because, you know, it comes from you, from how you see them, how you feel about them, and it's coming from the heart, right? Now, something that you could also choose to do as a form of an offering is use kinetic energy, essentially movement. So this includes, of course, dancing, but also you could do singing and dancing. Now, something else that you could do, oh, by the way, I want to point out that kinetic energy, you like dancing, right, and or singing and dancing, you can choose to do that in special occasions, such as, for example, you may choose to sing and dance or one or the other during the Esbats or the Sabbats, but that's honestly like just for you to decide. I usually sing and dance or just dance in the Esbats, although sometimes in the Sabbats I do that too, but that's really rarely. Not for anything in particular, I just feel the mood to dance, you know, in Esbats rather than Sabbats, but that's just me. Other activities that you may choose to do that, you know, have to do with kinetic energy pretty much involve anything that acts in the service of others. So, you know, you can go to the beach to clean, to the forest, or anywhere out in nature. You know, you can volunteer to help the people in need, maybe feed the homeless or anything like that. You know, anything that comes from your heart. You can even choose to work somewhere that pretty much acts in the service of that deity. Another thing that you may choose to give as an offering are objects. So essentially you can create or literally offer anything in their honor by giving either a painting, a jewel, a statue, crystals, stones, and pretty much anything in their name. When you're offering something outside, like I had said before, please give something that is going to be completely biodegradable, because you do not want to be harming nature. Please. Don't offer things like glass or things in glass, right? Don't offer things that are going to be, you know, harming nature. You know, essentially what you're going to want to do is just give stuff that essentially is going to, you know, benefit the area, if you're doing it outside in nature, of course, right? If you're going to offer stuff outside in nature, if it's biodegradable, the better. Now, the act of making an offering can of course be as simple or as complex as you want, literally. Now, personally, I go for simple and because I believe in the power of your word, so like the power of voice, I say a prayer when it is that I am making an offering. So, right? Let's say that I am going to, this one's like way easier to get out. Let's say that I am going to be giving this incense stick as an offering. So, wait. So what I would do is I would hold this. First of all, I would be facing this way, but I want you to like see me. So what I would do is hold the offering with both of my hands, and I would say, can you see? I think you can. Divine Mother, Goddess of love and of light, Divine Father, God of the wild and of the sun, I offer you the essence of this incense stick in perfect love and perfect trust as a symbol of my devotion. May it strengthen my bonds with you. In your name I say, blessed be. And then what I would do is I would kiss it, and then I would present it to them, like to do this, and then I would offer it, like give it to them by placing it on the altar. Of course, I'm kneeling so that you can see. You don't really need to do this. Like you can just, you know, say the prayer, kiss it, go up, and then place it down. That's normally That's normally what I do when I'm giving like the entire offering. So let's say, you know, I'm eating a meal and I wanted to give some of my food to the deity. So what I would do is something else. This in particular is just when I'm giving, like I said, like the entire offering to them. Now, I'm gonna sit down because like I don't like being like this. So now, as I said, you know, another form of an offering may be when you want to share of what you are having. Think of this as you going out with your friend and you're hungry, you know your friend as well, but you have money and your friend doesn't. You're not just gonna, you know, eat and let your friend stare at you eating when both of you are hungry. Like, you don't, first of all, you don't do that, because that's not being a friend. And second of all, what you want to do is essentially, you know, either give a half of your food. In this case, you know, I'm talking about dating another friend. Because if it's your friend, I would assume that you would share half of the food. But with, you know, in terms of like a spirit or a deity, you may choose to give half of what you're eating, or give a portion of, you know, a small portion of what you're eating. Now, something that I want to point out, this prayer is something that I made very, very recently. What I used to do was just say what came to mind in the moment. But I was like, you know what, I want to organize myself way better. So I'm going to create a prayer. It's a very, very small, simple prayer. When giving a portion of what I am eating to the deity, this is what I have created. So the prayer goes like this. Divine One, Great Mother and Father, what's mine is yours. What I freely take, I freely offer, giving thanks in perfect love and perfect trust. In your name I say, blessed be. So that is essentially when you give the food, or you can give the food and then say the prayer. You know, you can work with that. I just say the prayer as I'm like giving the food. And that's pretty much it. You know, it's really simple, really short. This is a combination of something of a prayer that I found, and I think it was this book or the other one, Living Wicca, I don't remember. And I was like, I have an idea, let me adapt it for me, you know, for my use. So that's what I ended up creating. And yeah, but overall, something that I highly suggest that you keep in mind is that, you know, when making an offering, as I always say, words have power, right? So essentially, when you are making an offering, I suggest that you state that this is an offering in any way, shape, or form. So, you know, like I said, you can create a little prayer by simply stating what you're doing. You can even include the why and the reason and anything else that you may wish to add as a form of a prayer stating what you're doing. Now, questions that I see a lot is, how long do you leave the offerings, right? So honestly, it depends on like the offering itself. So what's important overall is that the offering remains as fresh as possible. But the offering, if it's food, specifically like a fruit, before or after you start to see oxidation, right? After it starts to look not so pleasant, that's when you can just like, you know, do something with it. I'm gonna explain a little bit about that later. In terms of drinks, like I said, some people choose to change it daily. Some people choose to wait until the water goes halfway down, which is what I do. In terms of objects, that's permanent, baby. That's not yours. That belongs to the deity or spirit. That's not for you to throw away. That's there, boo. But basically, you can change the offerings once you start to see that they should be changed. Like honestly, that's when you know when it looks like it needs to be changed. That's like the rule of thumb, I guess, you know. Like I said, don't throw away any offerings that you made that are objects. Like, that's not yours. That's something that belongs to them permanently. However, if you don't want to have it on your altar, something that you can do is simply ask if you can bury it, or if you give it to them by burying it, or if you can simply just place it somewhere else, maybe out in nature. Again, remember, don't throw anything, just place it there. And yeah, now what to do with the leftovers of the offering. So after you want to change it, what to do with that. So some people choose to make a ritual out of the ridding of that offering. So some people bury the offering, so any food, any flowers, anything that they want to just simply get rid of because it's already been consumed. Essentially burying it, saying a few words if you want to. Other suggest that you should, like I said, in the previous video, I think, to just take it and place it or pour it on the ground in nature, so that the wild animals can consume the physical leftovers of the food, and therefore the food isn't technically going to waste. But some people say that, the food isn't really going to waste because the food has served its purpose. You got the food to pretty much serve a purpose, which was to offer it to the deities. And once it's been consumed, it didn't go to waste, right? And also this ties in, I guess, to the belief that if you truly believe that the offering is being given and received by the deity or spirit, then it's not really going to waste. Although I do understand where people are going, what people, you know, where they're coming from when they say that they don't want to waste the food. Like, you know, I know what you mean, but this is just something that I want to point out just in case. Another reason why you may choose to place it outside is because, you know, other people believe that the consumption of the food by an animal or anything out in nature, maybe even a homeless person, pretty much means that once that food has been consumed, like I said, by anything external from you, means that the offering has been accepted. So, I mean, that's another reason why you may wish to put it outside. Again, place, don't throw. Everything has to be done with respect. Other people, they choose to consume the leftovers. So after you've left something here, you would eat it. I think that's gross, so I don't do that. Other people, something that I do is simply just throw away the food. Like after you're done, you can throw it away. You know, some people don't have the accessibility to like a place that they can just freely, you know, bury it, or like, you know, and honestly, like, you can just like boop boop. However, some people do say that it is very disrespectful, but honestly, what I think is that, like, how is it disrespectful if it's already served its purpose and like it's already been consumed? You know, like, now it's just a vessel. At least this is the way that I see it. Like, it served its purpose, now it's just an empty vessel, empty. So I mean, yeah. Now, how often you give the offerings truly depend on you. I think I mentioned this before. Some people choose to give smaller offerings every day, while other people choose to give offerings once every month. Some choose to make offerings every week, or sometimes at special times, like for example on the Sabbath or Esbat. Some people give a big offering, you know, like every month, and then like smaller offerings daily. But honestly, it truly depends on you and like what you think works best for you and all of that. Like, truly everything depends on you, honestly, you know? And I think that would be everything that I wanted to talk about. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Don't be shy. If I'm able to help, I will truly help. And yeah, I really do hope that you guys enjoyed it and learned something new. If you didn't, at least you got some entertainment. So yes, if anything, if you guys liked it, be sure to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I shall see you guys later.
You made me feel so much better.